Good morning, ma. You can now start. Oh, please unmute yourself and start. Thank you, ma.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear
you. Can hear me? Okay, good morning. My name is Maria Eka. I am a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. I have previous career in the administrative cadre of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I also have a banking career. Now I am a business development consultant and trainer. I facilitated a lot of the programs by the Nigerian Employers Consultative Assembly. The program is called Life After Paid Employment. And I was also one of those running the program for the federal government for when they were training people and retirees to start their own business. I'm a member of the NECAS Network of Entrepreneurial Women, actually a founding member, an organization that trains women through the generations. Also, I'm a past director, non-executive director of the new Women's Microfinance Bank. An assessor, I was an assessor and a mentor in the federal government program for youths called You-Win. So in many of the roles that I have held in the past, one of the issues was getting money to do business, money to start their own business. You see many people every day, they're either retired, they've lost their jobs, or they cannot find a job. Good people, people that are otherwise savvy, and they cannot start a business. And when you ask them why, many of them tell you that it is because they don't have money. When you ask them what they want to do, if you give them the money, they cannot explain to you properly what they want to do with the money. So this morning, I have been asked to come and talk about developing a business plan and finding finance for your business. One of the things lacking in many of the people who cannot find money to do their business is that they have not prepared properly. They do not have a business plan. So let's go on this journey. Share my screen. Yeah, you can see my screen. So I'm talking on developing a business plan and raising finance for your business. I have just told you that I have met many people who cannot start a business because they don't have money. And the reason many times is because they cannot explain themselves properly. One of the reasons is because they cannot explain properly what they are doing. Every successful business has a written plan, a written business plan. The speaker who spoke yesterday morning said something that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. In everything we do, we have to plan. The speaker who spoke yesterday, who told us about a marketing plan, that is also a plan in the business plan. So what is a business plan? A business plan is a written document. A written document describing in detail how a business will achieve its goals. A written plan from a marketing, financial, and operational viewpoint. A business plan must be written. I've tried, when trying to mentor some market women some time ago, they tell you they have a business, and you start asking them questions. They have not written down anything. They tell you they can remember. But you cannot do business like that. You have to put a lot of things down in writing. And this writing, it must explain how you are going to market, how you are going to get money, how you are going to operate the business. That is a business plan. What will the business plan do for you? It is important that you do a business plan because your business plan is going to help you to present your ideas to third parties, such as shareholders, investors, banks. Can you imagine if somebody comes to you and says they want you to give them some money, and you really want to give them the money, and you ask the person, what are you going to do with the money? And she starts rambling, doesn't know what to say. Will you give that money to the person? I will not give the money to the person. The business plan, so when you do a business plan, it helps you, it provides a benchmark against which performance can be measured and reviewed. Performance to be measured and reviewed. You know, it's like you do the business plan, you have planned that you are going to make maybe 10 million naira profit this year. At the end of the year, you're going to use that business plan to review and see, did I make 10 million naira profit? What if I made it? How did I make it? And if I didn't, why did I not make it? Because you have a plan, there's a benchmark against which your performance can be measured. And sometimes when you want to do a business and you do the business plan and you look at certain things, maybe it's not going to be as profitable as you think. Maybe certain things you didn't envisage are now happening, and you decide that you're not going to run it again. I've tried to start certain businesses, and when I did a simple plan, I found that the thing is not going to be profitable, or it will give you too much trouble and all that, and so I left those things. And some of those I mentor, when we do a business plan, and it looks as if certain things are not going to be right, you try to put those things right, or you look for something else that you can do. The business plan will help you to identify services and the products that you will provide. It will help you to identify your sales and marketing strategy, how you are going to sell. The young man who talked about marketing online yesterday told us it is very crucial that you market properly. The gentleman who spoke on the second day also told us the importance of having a market. Your business plan will help you to put all these things out. You will also, in your business plan, need to identify the number of people you will need in the business. You cannot employ too many people or too few people. The business plan will help you to decide the type of materials that you need. You know, many people have come for the training program. They are doing tie and dye. Some people are learning how to cook, how to bake, how to do snacks, how to grow vegetables. All the businesses require different types of materials. So your business plan will identify what you need and the quantity you need. And of course, very important too, the business plan will help you identify the money, how much money you require to do the business. So what does the business plan contain? The business plan, I'm going to use a very simple format. What I'm giving you is not sacrosanct. It can be in a form that is even more elaborate than this. It can be simpler than this. But what I am giving you is the format, the International Labour Organization format that they use for small businesses. It's a simple format. You will see in some formats will ask you to do a mission and a vision statement, but this one is a format for small businesses and it has worked very well for small businesses. So you have an executive summary. I will explain each of them as I go on, but these are the contents of the business plan. An executive summary, a business idea plan, the marketing plan, the forms of business, staffing, legal responsibilities and insurance, costing, financial planning, your required startup capital, and your sources of capital. So we start, let me just give a brief, I just do a brief description of what each heading is. We are not going to go deeply into each of them because during the course of the lectures, I know a lot of the speakers have delved into some areas very, very deeply, like the marketing person delved into marketing, the person who did entrepreneurship delved into a lot of things, and the costing, the person who talked of costing and record keeping actually went into details about record keeping and costing, and all those things are the things that are going to be inside your business plan. So the executive summary is the first part of your business plan. It's a summary of your business ideas and the most important information from the rest of the business plan, but it's a short statement. But what we do normally, we complete all the other parts of the business plan before we do put the executive summary, even though the executive summary is the first part of the business plan. So the next thing is the marketing plan and strategy. I will not go into this very deeply because we had a full session on online marketing, and I was wowing when I was listening to that presentation about marketing. The only difference here is that a lot has been said about the marketing. The young man concentrated more on the online marketing. I just want to add that the traditional methods of marketing are still on. You know, traditional method, you use television, put your billboards out, you know, you go door to door. We are still using those forms of marketing. So the world has changed. In fact, COVID changed the world a lot. Now we have digitalized, and people know, we all know now that we don't have to carry our goods about the way we used to. And many of us have gone online to try and do our business. We want to, still want to know your potential market. How many people are in this potential market? And in a simple way, for example, if I'm doing hats, if I make hats and I come to Christ Church, I look at Christ Church, I say, yes, there are 2,000 women that come to this church. So 2,000 women are going to wear hats. So I have a big market. In fact, one young woman told me one time that, oh, the whole of Nigeria is our own potential market. I said, yes, it's true, but just wait. Let's start from Ogudu and Ojota, then we start taking over Nigeria. Now, so you're targeting Christ Church people. You have to segment Christ Church. How many people wear hats? You know, some people don't wear hats, some wear gele. And what type of hats? Some of the pastors put on, you know, these nice hats that some of my children call them Mommy G.O., nice Mommy G.O. hats. But some of them want to wear facilitators, the younger people. So you have to know all this and then decide which area you want to operate in. So you decide what the size of your market is. Remember, as you are doing this, sizing your market, that you have competitors. You are not the only one making hats. You are not the only one who wants to make hats for Christ Church. Other people, there may be 4 or 5 of you. So take all that into consideration. And of course, you must look at the quality of your product, how you are going to present it. The price of your product must be the price that people are willing and able to pay you for what they are getting. We're talking of place. The place where we're going to do this business is now, it's everywhere. You're doing it online. You're doing it in a shop. If you want, sometimes you're doing it from your house. You're carrying the goods in a car. Then there are the promotions. How do you make people know that you sell? Yesterday, the young man who talked about online marketing talked a lot about promotions. So we want to, in doing your business plan, you're going to talk about staffing. What type of staff are you going to get to do the business? Depends on what you are doing. And then you must identify the skills, the skills of the people that you want. How many staff do you want? In your business, you must not have too many staff, because remember, you are going to pay them salaries and you don't want people to be idle. You will set up structures. The salaries you pay, remember, when you are paying salaries, sometimes you have to pay allowances. People who stay long with you, you have to pay them benefits and that kind of thing. You have responsibilities when you start a business. You have responsibilities to the community. First, you have to pay taxes, and there are different types of taxes in the community. Like now, the security situation is not too good in the country. The communities where you have your shop or your business, you have to think of how you're going to pay vigilante and other people. Those are some things you have to do in the community. Keeping the community clean, you have to pay some levies. Then employees, salaries, allowances, insurance. Sometimes when your company is getting big, you start getting into bigger things. There are licenses for different businesses. If you want to sew, if you are a fashion designer, for example, you have a certificate. There may be an association of fashion designers that you have to be a member of to be able to operate properly. Sometimes if you don't do these things, some people will come and lock up your shop. Then, of course, I talk about insurance again. Costing your products. I will not go into this much because I remember that Mrs. Jiboye did a lot of talking about costing your products. She talked about costing your products. I just want us to remember that costing is a way to calculate the total cost of making and selling your products. If you remember, she told us you have to cost your direct material costs, the cost of the materials that you use for the business, the main materials that you use for the business. You have to cost your labor cost at salaries and the people that help you to do the business. And there are indirect costs like electricity, rent, and that kind of thing. Those are not direct costs, but all businesses have direct and indirect costs. That will be in your business plan. So when you finish all the costing, you're going to do a required, what we call a required startup. No, I'm sorry. Before we get there for the business plan, we'll do what we call a financial plan. In the financial plan, you will make a sale and cost plan. The sale and cost plan is you take the things you take the things that you sell. Like in a month, you sell, if you are making cakes, for example, if you sell 100 cakes in a month, what are the materials you use to make the 100 cakes? You will cost it. Now, how much are you selling your 100 cakes? You will cost it. You will also now, after you have taken out the amount from between your sales and the materials you have used, you will have some surplus. Hopefully, if the business is doing well, then you are going to now take out all the money for rent and insurance and all those little things that are not direct costs. At the end of it, you will see at the end of the month if you have surplus. You do it for 1 year, you see at the end of 1 year. This is a forecast. Actually, it's a forecast. It's what you plan to do. You will see whether you are making profit or not. That is, it tells you what you want to do. You want to do this business, do you want to increase some things, you want to decrease some things. Then the second thing you will do in your financial plan is you make what we call a cash flow plan. In that cash flow forecast, you are forecasting how much money you are going to spend, how much cash will be in the business every month. The cash that is in the business, is it okay for you to continue the business? Because some businesses that we have seen, the woman is coming, she comes to you to help her. And she's telling you she has, how much profit do you make in a month? She says 1 million naira. Okay, so why don't you have cash to buy your raw materials? She cannot buy cash. She doesn't have the cash because she has sold on credit and she has not been paid. That is something that you must take care of in your forecast. You must make sure that you have the cash. If you are going to be selling on credit, then maybe it is not advisable to sell everything on credit. You must have a plan to have cash in the business. If you run out of cash to do your business, the business fails. That is the importance of having this cash flow plan. And if you run out of cash, you cannot go and buy your next set of raw materials. Your production will stop, whatever you are doing, and you will not have any business anymore. So now we have done the financial planning. We have an idea of how we are running this business or how we're going to do this business, whether it is profitable, whether we have cash to run the business. And we are seeing in the plan, we are seeing our marketing strategy, whether we plan for it to work. We look at all that. And then we will draw up what we call a required startup capital. So required startup capital. Now you're going to put money on your business premises. Some people who have been doing business or who have plenty of money maybe they want to buy a business premises because it depends on what they are doing. But the smaller businesses just want to rent money to, so you are not going, it's not a capital investment. But capital investment, most businesses want to put their money on equipment. If you are a fashion designer, you're going to buy your industrial sewing machines or other sewing machines. If you are a caterer, you want to cook, maybe you want to buy a cooker. Those are all capital investments for the business. Then you're going to put your working capital. Usually for this purpose, you may put the amount that will be enough for working capital for like 6 months, stock of raw materials for about 6 months. You project for it. Your rent, you're going to pay your rent. In Nigeria, you pay rent once a year or once in 2 years. Your insurance, your salaries, and all those other small things that are indirect costs. So you will get a final figure. So that is the amount of money that you require for the business that your business plan has told you about. I think we should pause for a few minutes and let us take some questions, and then we can go on so that I will not just be talking. Okay. Chat. Okay, the people in the hall, nobody has a question to ask?
We're waiting to get feedback from them now.
Okay, okay.
He said you should talk more about the working capital.
Okay, the working capital. The working capital is what you are using to run the business. For example, if you are making, let me use the example of if you are making cakes. If you are making cakes, you need to buy flour, butter, sugar. Those are the things you need, because the oven that you are buying, those are not part of, those are equipment, those are capital. Now this working capital, so how much flour do you want? Maybe you make 100, if you make 100 cakes a day, how much do you need to make your 100 cakes a day? But remember that you are not going to be going to the market every day to buy flour for the 100 cakes. Maybe you want to have enough money to put like a bag of flour, enough flour to make cakes for so many days or for a week. So you calculate that. And then the working capital, remember at the end of the month, you are going to pay the people that work for you. That is part of your working capital. You are going to put money in your phone to do your data, to do your promotion. You know, some of the things you want to put online, you are going to pay for them. You know, the things, so you are paying people. Those are is the capital that is working, the money that you are using to run the business at it every day, the day-to-day running of the business. That is your working capital. Are you with me?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I think they got it.
Okay, I can see on the chat box. I can see on the chat box. Somebody says, what insurance does a small business need?
Yes, ma'am.
A small business doesn't really need any insurance now. The reason why I put the insurance there, you know, in the group, I noticed on the participants list, there are small businesses, there are people who have not started, there are people who have started, and there are people like me, a few people like me there who are also in business. You know, they've been running some businesses, and then those ones have to, you know, put some kind of insurance for the business. So the small businesses, the insurance, if your business requires carrying money up and down, you know, like when you are running like a shop on site, and people pay you cash every day, and you need to take the money, carry the money to the bank every day. Some people advise that you have a kind of insurance about, so that people, if your money gets missing. And then of course, a small business, if you are the owner of the place, you need to have insurance for fire. You know, you are doing some work every day, you have insurance for fire and that kind of thing. But a very small business, if you are just starting, you don't need to worry about insurance yet. Get on with the business and start it. Okay. Somebody says, could you go over? Yes, go on, please. I'm listening.
You can. I think you said, could you go over the business plan logistics?
Business plan logistics. I don't know what you want. Logistics. How do you mean? Logistics? Do you mean I should go around, I should go over the things I've just said, or?
I believe so. Mr. Joshua, can you retrace your question, or can you explain more? I think it's the business plan concept.
The content. You want me to go over it again? Okay, just give me 1 minute. I'll go over it again. Okay, can you see my screen? There is the executive summary, the business idea plan, the marketing plan, the forms of business, staffing, legal responsibilities and insurance, costing, financial planning, startup capital, and sources of startup capital. And like I said, this content is not sacrosanct. This is a model of the International Labour Organization in the program. It's called Start and Improve Your Business. It is for small scale businesses. This is the module that they use. There are many other modules, more sophisticated and some simpler than this, that people use for their business plan. Okay, are you okay now with that? Somebody says, could you explain the business plan content?
Yes, I think he just elaborated his question. That was the one.
Okay, can you explain the, okay. Is it okay now? Because I've just given a list of all those things, and I have gone into, I've talked about each of them, not in detail, because we are looking at all the segments of the business here. Some people have gone, like the person who did marketing did a very elaborate talk about the marketing plan. Mrs. Jiboye talked about costing. She also did an elaborate discussion on costing. So I don't need to go into all that again. Okay. Yes, any other questions? Okay, thank you.
All right, there's a question here. Said, what are the sources of startup capital?
Okay, we're going to do that. We're going to go, that's the next part, that's the next stage of the discussion. I just stopped here because we have just done our business plan now. We're going to talk about the sources of startup capital next. Okay, if we are ready, we go on. So, you need money to start your business. Some people have said, I've had people, a few people say you don't need money to start your business, that you can start the business very, very simply. I have come across people who want to start a business. Sometimes they have they have some interesting concepts, something small. And when they discuss it, it sounds very interesting. And I've had calls to advise, it's like, this is just off, like somebody wanted to start a small thing. A cousin of mine wanted to start a small thing, a small business. He wanted, I think he needed like 100,000. And I said to him, so you know what we are going to do? We're going to do some work to get the 100,000. So I introduced him to a site, a building site, where I knew the owner of the person building the site. And I said, you go and work there, help them on the building site, do some work for 2 months and keep a certain amount every day. You'll be surprised that instead of walking about, every day and watching television in the house, you have enough money to start your business. And even if you don't have enough money and people want to help you, now you have something. And he took my advice and he started something. And it is very, very interesting. That's just, and many people come, they want to start something, they want to do something, and you ask them, so what do you want? Just help me with anything. Anything is not going to help you. You have to have a proper business plan, and you have to try and find a way to get some money. Now, it is important that you estimate properly how much capital you need before you start your business. Because if you don't estimate properly, you may end up starting the business and not being able to continue, or you may end up wasting some money. It is also important that you have sufficient funds to start the business. So, what do we do? There are various types of funds where you can get your money. But I will start from the simplest ones. I'll start from the simplest ones, and then I will go on to the more difficult ones. Now, the first one is owner's equity. That means you are not going to borrow money. You're going to use your own money. Personal savings, those who are retired, who have worked before, maybe they have some personal savings. You can get some money from your friends and family. The personal savings is what we usually advise people who are just starting. It is not good to go and borrow money when you are just starting a business. It is good to start it small with what you have, and then when it is big and you can account for a lot of things, if you need to start borrowing money, then you will have all the requirements for borrowing the money. Owner's equity is like private money you put into the business. It's called risk capital, because like if somebody, 2 or 3 people join you and the money is lost, well, it's you don't owe anybody, the money is lost. Usually people who want to give you money want to see that you yourself, you have some money to put into the business, because this is proof that you believe in the business. If the money is your own, there's less pressure on you, to pay back loans and pay interest and answer questions. But having owner's equity requires a lot of financial planning and discipline. Again, I say you get your equity from personal savings and from friends and from family. You can get money from loans. This is money borrowed from third parties. In order to get money, to borrow money, you must specify the purpose which you want to use the money for. And if anybody wants to lend you money, they want a collateral. That means you're going to put something down. You put some collateral down. Something, in case you don't pay, they will take that thing from you. Then loans. If you borrow money, there's a period in which you must pay back the money. And you must have a repayment plan. Like if you borrow money from the bank or from somebody, you must have a plan that, okay, I took 1 million naira, I'm going to pay back maybe 50,000 every month for a certain period, and you're going to pay interest. Fees are charged. They are negotiable, but you will agree upon the fees and then the interest you are going to pay before the loan is given to you. Now we continue loans. There's what we call supplier's credit. It's a kind of loan, but if people trust you, also sometimes when you want to start, they give you some goods. Instead of they give you some goods, and when they give you the goods, you can pay them back later. I remember when I left banking, I was doing a small soap industry. And I was going like every 3 or 4 days to buy raw materials. And I remember somebody, and it was another woman who said to me, why don't you come and take a ton of caustic soda? Take a ton each time you come. And I said, do you know me before? She said, no, she doesn't, but she thinks what I'm doing, I'm very serious with it because it's like I'm always coming back to take. And so that was how I got a kind of supplier's credit. And that thing really helped a lot to boom the business. That is supplier's credit. It's a kind of loan that you are given materials. So if you are going to borrow money, I just listed out the various institutions that lend money. Various institutions that lend money, the banks, there are the banks, there are banks, there are microfinance banks, there are cooperatives that lend money, there are private money lenders, which I don't advise you to go to them because their own conditions are very stringent. There are banks, there are commercial banks, there are microfinance banks that also lend money to small businesses. Now, when you are choosing a lending institution, there are requirements. The lending institutions require some things from you. They want you to bring your business financial statements, evidence of payments of tax, presentation of feasibility, collateral. They want you to be ready to answer questions. So the major lending institutions, actually, they are not for small businesses. It's better maybe go to the microfinance banks, use a cooperative at the beginning, try and get suppliers credit. Maybe some of the people who supply you with things will agree to sell to you, give you things on loan, they give you goods without taking money from you before you start using the things. Okay, so now those are your how much money do you need? We should have talked about this. The amount of money you need has been determined by your business plan. At the end of the business plan, you should be able to say you need so much money. And you should be ready to answer questions on your business plan. So I have told you the various types of funds, the owner's equity, the loans, and then the last thing I want to talk about is what I call grants. There are what you call grants by some organizations. So from time to time, the government gives some grants to small businesses. Some organizations also give grants to people to do businesses. Now, I want to just mention something for the young people. I'll just mention it. You go and try and find out about it. I know there are these events every year. So because some of them, I participate, I'm an assessor on some of those things. So I know that they exist. So what you do is, like for example, there's something called Entrepreneurship World Cup. And you take it down, Entrepreneurship World Cup. I think they're about to take applications now. Ask about it. Look it up, Google it, look it up and see if they are still accepting applications for it. There was something many years ago, like You Win. It was something for youth. The government gave some money, some kind of grants to youth. But one of the things in all these, they're like competitions. Sometimes you pitch your business, you answer some questions, you do a lot of things, and you get some help. One of the things they want you to do, you must be able to explain your business. You must be able to draw up a simple business plan, know what your business is about, and explain it properly before you can get some of these grants. Now, the grants also, you can talk to the organizers. I'll look for some of the, get you some of the websites in which you can go and look and do some research on some of where to get grants to do your business. How far? We're about to, we will soon go into another question and answer session. So can you ask me some more questions on how to get the funds before I round up? Question and answer session. Chart. Sources of startup capital. Somebody wants to know more about sources of startup capital.
That was an old question, ma.
No, it's on the chat. I'm seeing it on the chat box. Somebody said sources of startup capital. Yes, I think that was before I started the session. Is the person clear now about the sources of startup capital?
Okay, ma, she said the question was answered, but someone is asking, where do we get grants for our business?
Okay, the grants. There is nobody that is sitting and waiting to give you grant like that. But I know of a lot of youth programs for youth and for women, because I have been an assessor on many of those programs. Now, what happens is that they advertise and they do a kind of pitch. You advertise and you know, you advertise, they ask you some questions, you go into some, it's like a kind of competition. And at the end of the day, they give some of the youths and the women some money, some grants. Sometimes it involves training as well for their business. And there are many of them, but people don't know about them. Like I said, for example, there's something called the Entrepreneurship World Cup. If you Google it, I think they are asking for applications now. Try and see if you can go into it. It's a serious work, hard work, but I know a lot of youths have got it. Then there is the Transforming Nigerian Youth. It's also another kind of pitch that young people are asked to, they do some things and they help their businesses. There's the Agro Hack Challenge. That is more for people who are doing business that is agricultural, you know, agriculturally based. Those, okay, the Entrepreneurship World Cup closed on 15th of August. Somebody is telling me that it closed on 15th of August. So what is done every year. So you know that, at least you know now that there's something like that you can apply for. And there are many other small things like that in the news from time to time. You try and get your funds from there. And women too, some of the banks organize some things for the women. Some of them are loans. Sometimes they train you free of charge for your business and that kind of thing. Those are all, for some form of grants, right?
Someone said, I Googled about Entrepreneurship World Cup. Is it closed? It's closed on 15th of August.
Okay, I don't know when it closed, but what I'm just trying to tell you is that there are many things like that, and it's annually. So if you don't get into it this year, you can also keep it in mind, apply next year, check what it is all about now. There are other things, Agro Hack Challenge. I don't know if it has closed, but it was also it's one of those things too that they help youth, the people who get into it, get some form of grants to do their business. What I'm trying to say is that there are a lot of things in the market, a lot of things that government is doing, that big organizations are doing to help youth, particularly youths and women, to get, who are in small business, to help them with their business, either in the training them to do the businesses well, or giving them a little money to do the business under supervision. I know that some years ago, there was the UWIN. I was an assessor and a mentor on the program, and government gave as much as 10 million to each of those people that got it to do their business. And there are still things like that. But what you have to, as a business person, I think one of the things Mrs. Jiboye said, and what the person who talked about entrepreneurship said, is that you must keep on reading, networking, and finding out information, because there's a lot of information out there about help for businesses, how to get money, how to get training free that people don't know about. Even this program that we're running in Christchurch now, it's a form of sponsorship, because if you are to get this kind of training with a consultant, you know how much you will pay. And many people have not heard of it. Many people don't know that we are doing this training. That is another form of help and grants. So,
there's another
Yes,
so
please.
another question, Ma. Say, good morning, Ma. Thanks for
Good morning.
Please, Ma, is it advisable to team up with people to start a business?
It is well, I will say yes and I will say no. Now, team up with people. Who are the people and what kind of business is it? Depends what kind of business is it. Is it something that you must do in a team before you can do it? And the people you want to team up with, are they people you know very well? They must be people of like mind with you. And what are they coming with? Some people want to team up with you because they don't want to bring anything. I remember I was one of the businesses I did. I put up one of my properties to be renting out, like a hall renter was renting the hall out to people for pay. And I remember a few people came to me to make a proposal. We want to be using your hall. Let us team up. You give me, I'll give you, we will share 50-50 the profit. And then when I say to him or her, well, so how much is this 50%? Where is the profit? They don't have anything to bring. They want to use your hall for free. And I say no, just pay just pay for the cost of the hall. I don't want to go into any partnership or any teamwork with you. And there are people like that, so you have to be careful. If you want to team up with people, make sure that they are adding value to you, to the business, that you are all adding value. Not that some people want to team up because they don't have anything to offer. They want to use you. Some people are very good to team up with because they know a lot of things. I belong to a women's network. Then we train, we train people. And some of the women in that network have very, very high integrity. And anytime we are working, we are always ready to team up. We team up, but we are like-minded people. So don't team up with people who are not like-minded with you. Don't team up with people who don't have anything to offer, but who just say they are offering themselves. That is my own advice. Okay, the business is a tutorial center, a college, a school. So what are the responsibilities of everybody in this team? Is it, you have to state, spell it out very well. Let everybody know what their responsibility is in the team. If you can do that, a team is good for, because you need in a tutorial college, you need many teachers, you need counselors, you need many people to do a school or a tutorial center. So make sure that you have spelled out all your responsibilities properly. Yes, am I making sense?
Yes, Mayo.
Yes, okay. Yes, okay. Any more questions? Hmm? Mm-hmm. Okay, it looks as if we don't have any more questions. So I want to round up. So I just want to recap about the you have to write a business plan, because it helps you. The business plan helps you to find out whether you are going to make profit in the business. It helps you to identify all the things that you need to start the business. It helps you, it's like a benchmark with which you can assess what you are doing over a period of time. And then you can get money mainly from bank, from loans, from equity, from grants. Those are the major areas from which you can get money. In writing your business plan, please be very, very, if you have started your business already, you will have a lot of information from the records. But if you haven't started your business yet, please do a lot of research before you do the business plan. And I want to advise you, when people hear of business plan, they're thinking of one very big document. That's what happened to me when I was starting a soap factory after leaving a career in the bank. I called a consultant. They wrote a very big business plan, which I had to rewrite it, simplify it, and go about myself to do the research. Get involved in the business plan yourself. Do the research. Write some of it. Know the prices of the goods. Know the prices of things. Know where to get things by yourself. You have to do it. When you leave things for other people to do for you without supervising or without finding out what is happening, you will lose a lot of money. I am very glad to be here again this year. I'm a member of the Christ. I'm a worker in the Department of Welfare and Empowerment of Christ Church. And I'm happy that I'm able to participate in this program, even though I'm very, very far away from you. Remember what our speaker on entrepreneurship said, that you should pray to God, put everything in the hands of God. because it is He that will establish the works of our hands. Work very hard and pray very hard. Do not depend only on your prayer. Do your work very well. Be diligent, because God wants us to be diligent in our work. Be careful, and remember, when you get this money that you are trying to get to do your business, use it for your business. Do not cheat. Do not use it to do other things. God will help us. God will establish the works of our hands. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Ma. We appreciate you. They're clapping for you, Ma.
They're clapping for me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Can you hear them, Ma?
No, I can't. They're clapping. So it is it's 4 a.m. where I am now.
She's appreciating you. She's actually appreciating you, thanking you, and giving you a round of applause.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate. I am glad to be here. I should have been with you in the hall in the church, but I am here now. I miss you all.
We miss you too, Ma.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. You can go.
Okay, thank you. God bless you.
Amen. So between now and tomorrow morning, you're all expected to develop your business plan. And we will tell you how to submit your assignments. Whatever course you've learned, so I'm very sure we're all digital, web, and graphic designers here. So please develop something on it, write your business plan, and you'll be expected to submit your business plan. So between today, tomorrow, it's an assignment. So you would have to submit it on the WhatsApp group. Before we go to our classes, today's Friday, yes, the last day of the training. So tomorrow is closing ceremony. That's the graduation and presentation of all the work you've done so far. So if you're excited about that, in the comment section, drop an emoji, clap. And for those that have been consistent, thank you very much. And we are sure that you have participated and learned something and to do you good. Thank you for the emojis. Who's that? Yeah, okay, Anthony, I see you, Anthony. I see you, Anthony. So tomorrow you will be on YouTube. We'll be sending you on YouTube. Thank you for the emoji, guys. So be here early tomorrow, 8 a.m. on YouTube. I also want you to know that whatever you've learned today, this week, whatever you've learned so far, know that you have learned it. You have to be confident about it. Like, you have learned it, you've learned it. You know that you've learned it. You did not miss a day in training. You've gone back to whatever you've been taught. So you have learned it. You have to have, heart, finesse, and confidence while at it. So whatever you've learned, people, okay, for people online, it's the graphics. We know that, yes. So just create a graphic, send it to the group who would help you display it. Yeah. Web design, we know that you do. Just keep on learning at the comfort of your home, but you know that you've learned it. That's the bottom line. We just need you to be confident that you know it. And the dress code is white and black for the graduation. If there is any other information, we'll pass it across to you all, so we can retire to our various classes. Thank you all for joining us this morning. The graduation is tomorrow morning online. For online people, to be on YouTube, not on Zoom, to be on YouTube. The YouTube link will be sent to you all. So to be on YouTube, not on Zoom. So white and black is the dress code. Thank you all for joining. White and black. White, black, white, black, white polo, white shirt, white, black shirt. Thank you all for joining, and please retire to your class. Have a wonderful day ahead. God bless you.